a God-given human and constitutional right. We have a right to defend ourselves against anybody. I don't care if they're law enforcement. I don't care if they're the common or layman. We have a constitutional and human and God-given right to defend ourselves against anybody that puts their hands on us. Malcolm X said, anyone that puts their hands on you, God damn it, send him to the cemetery. We can fight police brutality, police harassment on all fronts. We need to form community patrols in our community to observe the pigs. We cannot be afraid to stand and observe police when they are doing so-called police activity. You have a right to stand within a reasonable distance to observe the pigs, NYPD swinists, NYPD fascists. You have a right to stand within a reasonable distance and observe them do their activity. That's right. When they are pulling people over, don't walk by, stand and observe. That's right. Because you may be called as a witness. When they're pulling black and Latino people over, take out your cell phone. You have a right to take out your cell phones. You have a right to videotape. And most importantly, you have a right to stand and observe. We need to start walking with pads and pencils. We have to start writing down squad car numbers, badge numbers. When we come up across these pigs, we need to get in the habit of zeroing in on their left breastplate. We know how to memorize the numbers for the numbers. We know how to memorize numbers for the lotto. Get in the habit of when you come face to face with these pigs, zero in on the left breastplate of their uniform. Look at their nameplate. Look at their shield number. Look at the number on their collar that tells you what precinct they are from. We have to get in the habit of doing that. And for anybody out here who's a snitch and who works for NYPD, fuck you. We call on all the so-called Bloods and the Crips who say that they're gangsters, who say that they're OGs. We challenge you and we dare you to patrol your neighborhood. And when the pigs are standing around, we see a lot of so-called G's, a lot of Bloods and the Crips. All cops got to do is walk through and y'all ready to run. We want to see how G you really are. We want to see how gangster you really are. We challenge you and we dare you to stand there when the pigs walk through your neighborhood and don't move, goddammit. Stand there. We challenge the so-called Bloods, which I don't call gangs, I call them street organizations. Because y'all are organized structure, y'all have a chain of command, y'all just need to get this shit straight. Y'all are the organized structure, and that's what it is that the system is afraid of. That y'all organized, y'all got a chain of command. Use it for your community, use it for your people. When you're harassed by the police, you have a right to file a complaint with the CCRB. The CCRB is on Rector Street, what is it, 40 Rector Street, on the second floor. Now a lot of people may say, well, shit, what's the Civilian Complaint Review Board going to do? What are they going to do? It's documented in the police's file. The police officer that you file a complaint against, it is documented and it stays in their file that a complaint was lodged against them. And if other people have the guts and the heart to come forth and file a complaint against that police officer, for what it's worth, that police officer has more than 1, 2, 3, or 4 complaints filed in their record. We have to be able to fight on all fronts. We have to fight these pigs physically, spiritually, mentally. We got to use the pen. We got to go to the CCRB and file a complaint. And you can't be afraid. I also dare the Bloods and the Crips to go stand in front of a precinct 40 deep with your flags and everything and just stand there and observe. Just stand there in silence. Just stand there. That's psychological warfare. They've used psychological warfare on us for over 400 and 500 years. We have a right to employ that same warfare on the enemy. Now let me say this. We call on all the black and Latino officers that are behind the blue wall of silence. If you cannot come forth because we know that you'll be looked at as a rat. We call on y'all to do whatever it is that you can do behind that blue wall of silence. When you're partnered with a racist cop, be it black, white, or Latino, because we're not letting the black cops off the hook too. We're not letting them off the hook. We're not letting the Latino cops off the hook either. You have a right and a responsibility to your people as black and Latino officers to protect your people, because at the end of the day, you're just a nigger or a spit behind the behind the blue wall of silence. You gotta understand that. You're a black and Latino man, woman officer first before you're a police officer. You need to understand that.
Fuck that blue wall.
That's right, fuck that blue wall. So we call on the black and Latino officers to do what you gotta do behind that wall. If we see that if you see that you're partnered with a officer who is a racist, and you see something's getting ready to go down, we urge you and we challenge you to offer to take that perp down, to take the perp. Don't let that racist partner that you're partnered with take that perp. Offer to cuff the perp and you take him. But don't put him in the hands of the enemy, because you know what's going to go down. So we call on the community to not be afraid. We call on these Bloods and these Crips, these street organizations. I don't call them gangs. I call them street organizations. We want to see how gangster you really are. We want to see how G you really are. We're calling on you to stand on your community and observe the police when they're doing activity. We challenge you to do that. We want to see how gangster. We're going to be monitoring you guys too, and sisters. We will be watching y'all. So we call on the people in the community to get busy, because we're at war.
That's right.
We're at war with this enemy.
Right.
And the attack is coming on all fronts. It's coming on all fronts. So we call on the community to come forth, do what you got to do. File your complaints with the CCRB. Stand in defiance when you see police pulling over black and Latino people being in the car or on foot. We see cops just pulling people over. Let me ask you, let me see your ID. For what? For what? Am I being arrested? Why do I have to show my ID?
Show me your ID.
Don't be, yeah, that's right. Show me your ID. That's right. Let me see your ID. What's your badge number? What's your name? Huh? And for all these cops who are here, who are undercover, fuck you. Take it back to your commanding officer. Black power, black power, brown power. All power to the people.